Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for October 2022. This is a general reading for Virgo. Cross watchers are also welcome. Keep in mind that the roles of the individuals or energies identified in this reading may be swapped, and that the intensity of the situation or energies may vary. Feel free to take with you whatever messages resonate and leave behind for others whatever does not. So we're going to start out with this Celtic cross reading and close off with oracle card message. So Virgo, in your current situation, you have the Hierophant. What covers is the Two of Bones, or the Two of Swords in this case. Above you, you have Death. Below you, you have the Page of Cups. In the past, you have the Eight of Lollipops, or Eight of Wands. In the near future, you have the Six of Swords. Your current attitude of the situation is the Devil. In your environment, you have the Nine of Wands. In your hopes and fears, you have the Three of Swords. The outcome here is the World card. So Virgo, oh, this sun decided to kind of pop out and say hello. All right, so here with the Hierophant and the Two of Swords, there is an understanding or maybe a need to kind of learn something or stick to some type of plan, some type of rule, regulation, regimen. This could be like workout routine. This could be some type of like study schedule. This could be also, going to, Sex Addicts Anonymous meetings, something along those lines, and really not able to make a certain decision about kind of where to go from here, or whether or not you want to stick to it. In the past, with this Eight of Wands, seems like maybe you were like really moving towards something, possibly moving too fast, trying to go along with the flow, and this need for some type of, what's it called, rules, monitoring, some kind of structure. It's kind of a sense of, it could be that you're not even in this routine structure yet and need to make that decision to actually, be dedicated to that. In terms of the Death card being above you, there's like a focus, like a know that you need to change things. You need to like grow, mature, let things go that aren't for your best and highest good. And below you, what's kind of working in the background, you might not be aware of it, with this Page of Cups, it's this, hopeful, sensitive individual who, may feel that anything is possible, but also might have, been the reason for leading into this situation in the first place. So more of the wanting to follow your desires, as opposed to having any type of restrictions, or any type of limitations. So your attitude of the situation is this devilish candy corn. So your attitude is, it might be that you're just fighting against yourself. Maybe some type of thought process of, I don't need this. I can do this on my own. I don't need to, I don't need help. I don't need to follow these rules. I don't need to learn anything new. I'm absolutely fine doing exactly what I want to do. In your environment, with the 9 of Wands, it could be other people who blew out with these 8 of Wands, kind of were going hard, try to go with the flow, try to make things happen, and didn't do it in a way that was, aligned with their best and highest good. So it's interesting in this deck, these 8 lollipops are kind of like haphazardly, like just flung around. Typically, the 8 of Wands are kind of aligned and parallel, kind of indicating a sense of order, even intention, having a target and working together. But in this deck, it's not. So in theory, if these were more in line lollipops, kind of like these 9 of Wands, then it would make it easier to understand that maybe in moving towards the goals, they didn't want to stay within the lines and started knocking into each other and getting beaten up, like conflicting with their own priorities, with their own best interests. And then you have this pool of 9 of Wands where they worked towards something, they're kind of beaten up a little bit, and they're still willing to push forward because this is the way they know how, and that's what they're prepared to do. So in terms of your hopes and fears, you've got these 3 of bones, 3 of swords. So that indicates some type of fear of hurt, betrayal, disappointment, and actually, possibly, if this, let's say this is a situation where you're trying to overcome some type of addiction to sugar, addiction to alcohol, to, food, to Netflix, whatever it is. It's a sense of whatever these rules are, whatever these restrictions are, whatever you have to learn to kind of fall in line and kind of moderate certain things. Might also include needing to face some aspects of the past that haven't been dealt with, learned from, and could be part of why, like avoiding the feeling of the pain. Usually with the 3 of swords, it only takes one sword pierced through the heart to really do some significant damage. With 3, those are 3 separate wounds. They might have the pain felt at different periods, or the healing occur at different periods. So maybe in the past you've dealt with the disappointment, but then maybe there's some guilt, maybe there's some shame, maybe there's some, dashed hopes to deal with, and that can be experienced at different points in time. With the 6 of swords here in the near future, there is a focus on transitions, healing, moving on, and that typically in the traditional 6 of swords, there's a ferryman that's actually moving the boat across with an adult and a child inside. So it kind of indicates like a group effort involved there. So it might be that you're you need to rely on some kind of group effort, some kind of organization or institution, if that's what the Hierophant is. And then with this outcome being the world, so Virgo, there's a sense of accomplishment and success and rebirth, which is kind of associated with that death there too, because there's also a rebirth with that as well. So let's take a look at these 8 of Wands in your past, Virgo. You have the 3 of Bats, which is the 3 of Swords. So whatever this, moving forward, making things happen, just like going with the flow, could just be bypassing the experiencing of this pain, this disappointment in the past. So let's take a look at the, actually I want to take a look at the death. I was going to say the Hierophant, but here in the past, there's something that is still showing up in your hopes and fears. So it seems you tried to bypass it, don't want to think about it. So what is this death that you are thinking about? Is it just the loss and not dealing with the actual, like dealing with the effects of it? You have the Wheel of Fortune. So it's almost a sense of, that there is a significant change. I think it's almost, Virgo, that almost like the other shoe is going to drop, assuming one shoe already dropped, and you don't know where, but you're not sure if this approach is going to do anything about it anyway. So let's see what this Hierophant is. You have the Hanged Man. So whatever this Hierophant is for you, Virgo, it's going to force you to not be bypassing this experience, but really kind of forcing you to look at it, like almost like physically taking you and putting you in a position where you take a look at what is going on with what has happened, what you're doing right now, to kind of see it for what it is and from a different perspective as well, without your ego being involved, and kind of just recognize, like, what can you learn from it? What is, how can you use that? Well, actually, no, you just don't look at it so that you can deal with it, deal with the actual injuries, like the facts that even occurred first, and then learn from it. So if you need, because you've got the 3 of Swords coming up, because you have the Devil here, this Hierophant can also be, a counselor, mental health counselor, medical counselor, whatever it is that you might need to help you through this process, and can help you safely look at something you don't want to look at that's uncomfortable, because clearly it's uncomfortable. You've got, any type of change, any type of big changes that are happening and that is happening, and you are trying to deal with it, especially when it's kind of, what's it called, sandwiched in with the 3 of Swords, disappointment, pain, upset, heartbreak. It's going to be easier to have someone who is knowledgeable about whatever process you're going through, whether it's a medical professional, mental health professional, an addiction specialist, a spiritual counselor, whatever it is. So let's take a look at what this Two of Swords is here. You have the Page of Pumpkin or Page of Pentacles. So it's also, you know, it may be that you're not making a decision because of the emotional aspects of it, but perhaps looking at it from a different perspective of, without the emotion, just like, what can you learn from this? And just make a decision one way or the other. And if you choose not to, go through this process of, recovery, healing, learning rules, learning structure that can help you move forward, then you'll at least know more about yourself and can see why. Why is it that you made that decision? But because you have the world here as your outcome and the Six of Swords in the near future, it kind of indicates that this approach will help you just to make that decision and, kind of say, I'm going to learn. I'm going to honor this. I'm going to find new value in going this route. So let's see about the Page of Cups here, Virgo. You have the Knight of Ghosts, which is the Knight of Cups. So you are someone who probably, whether you like it or not, wears their heart on their sleeve, is very sensitive. You might, whatever this is, you might kind of criticize yourself for being sensitive. Maybe this is an old upset and you might kind of criticize yourself for still thinking about it when you really never thought about it. You never really dealt with it before. So ultimately, there is a, it's almost like your inner child, your higher self, your aspect of yourself that wants to give love and receive love is really hoping that this change allows you to be in that place where you can give and receive love again, in a very positive way. So let's see what this Devil is doing in your attitude. You got the Seven of Pumpkins, kind of like, why bother? It's not going to help anyway. It might not even work. So that's kind of probably part of your defense mechanism that you've built up to not even look at this in the first place. Let's see what's going on in your environment with the Nine of Wands here. You have the Four of Ghosts, which is the Four of Cups. So someone in your environment is kind of like, yeah, I've tried that, done that, didn't help me. Could be multiple people. So that's kind of your environment right now. So in the near future, with this Six of Swords kind of being a transition, it might be, and with the world being the outcome, it might be that a move away from this environment is called for. So let's see about the Three of Swords. You've got the Judgment card. So it really, your hopes and fears is to avoid looking at this past pain, but that's how you get over it. That's how you move through it. That's how you understand, where to go next, is by looking at, just the facts of the situation, recognizing the, part you played, the part other people played, owning, that experience, recognizing you can't change the past, but you also can face the past, feel, the upset, not live in it and dwell in it and set up shop in it, but learn from it. And like I said, if you need someone to help you in that transition with the Six of Swords and the Hierophant, then definitely a trusted individual or some expert in the field. You have the Five of Imps or Five of Wands. So to me, it kind of indicates that during this transition, you will be needing to have some help, because not only is it that you're like between two shores mentally, it's as if your desires, your priorities are going, to pop up again. It's almost as if even once you make this decision to pursue this education, this program, these steps, these rules, you're still going to have desires that pop up that are going to interfere with your progress. And especially if you're still in touch with this environment, it's going to make it difficult. Kind of like, why are you even bother doing that? I told you it didn't work for me. Let's see about the outcome here. The World, you've got the Two of Ghosts, which is Two of Cups. So, Virgo, this seems like the outcome of this, if you go through this process and you actually face this, it's almost as if you and these emotions here that want to like love again, want to open up, want to be free to wear their heart on their sleeve, they're going to be able to do that. It's like you connecting with those most tender, vulnerable parts of you and acknowledging it and kind of being like, hey, that was a moment I had and now we're back together. Let's buddy up. So Virgo, I'm going to pull some oracle cards here for a message from your higher self about tricks and treats to be mindful of. You have an eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So what I'm getting here is, this might be a love situation, this Three of Swords that you're kind of have been avoiding dealing with. But what's also a love situation is these feelings that you have, these hopeful love, self-love going on. So the love that you have for yourself is eternal love, for sure. So I'm going to pull one more card here. Oh, so in terms of eternal love, recognizing what's the priority here. Is the eternal love you and your vulnerable, sensitive heart, or is it something that is in the past that you can't change, can't fix, and isn't really love? So that's for you to kind of figure out. And then one more card to kind of look at some perspectives. You have loose and tight. So this might be, maybe you've tried stuff in the past to kind of deal with things and it was like loose. But whatever this is, it's a tighter, kind of stricter way of moving through this. So Virgo, I'm hoping this reading provides a helpful perspective of your month. And to uncover more, check out readings for each of your sun, moon, and rising signs. I'll see you next time. Take care.